Big news. Your soulmate is happier than ever. Because you finally did this. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. If these words appeared in front of you today, then the universe may have something important to reveal. Something uplifting. Something powerful. Something that has been quietly unfolding behind the scenes while you were focused on your own growth, your own healing, your own journey. Because whether you realize it or not, something has changed. Something shifted in your energy. Something shifted in the way you carry yourself, the way you view life, and the way you approach this connection. And your soulmate noticed. More than that, they felt it. And the effect it had on them has been nothing short of extraordinary. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. For a long time, your soulmate carried concerns they rarely spoke about. They worried about timing. They worried about uncertainty. They worried about whether things would ever align. They worried about whether the connection would survive the lessons both of you needed to learn. Yet despite all those worries, they never stopped paying attention. Even during periods of silence. Even during periods of distance. Even during moments when life seemed to pull both of you in different directions. They were watching. They were learning. And lately, they have seen something that fills their heart with hope. This message is for you. Because the thing that changed is not something dramatic on the surface. It is deeper than that. You finally started choosing yourself. You finally started focusing on your own growth. You finally started valuing your own peace. You finally stopped chasing answers that weren't ready to arrive. You finally stopped allowing fear to control every decision. Whether you realized it or not, you stepped into a new version of yourself. A stronger version. A calmer version. A more confident version. And your soulmate can feel the difference. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how different life feels lately? Maybe you have been feeling more grounded. Maybe you have been trusting the universe more. Maybe you have been finding peace in places where anxiety once lived. These changes are not random. They are signs of growth. And growth changes energy. When your energy changes, the people connected to you feel it too. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has felt this shift in ways they struggle to explain. Suddenly, thoughts of you bring them peace instead of confusion. Suddenly, memories bring gratitude instead of uncertainty. Suddenly, the future feels exciting instead of intimidating. It's as though your personal growth has created space for something new to emerge inside them. This message is for you. Because lately your soulmate has been smiling more when they think about you. Not because every question has been answered. Not because every challenge has disappeared. Because they can sense that something is different. They can sense that you're no longer carrying the same energy you carried before. They can sense that you're becoming who you were always meant to be. And seeing that transformation has made them happier than they expected. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been sending signs everywhere. Angel numbers appear at exactly the right moments. 111 for new beginnings. 222 for partnership and alignment. 333 for growth and spiritual awakening. 444 for reassurance. Every sign seems connected to the same message. Trust the process. Trust the growth. Trust what is unfolding. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest reasons your soulmate feels happier is because they no longer see you waiting. They no longer see you putting your life on hold. They no longer sense desperation or fear. Instead, they sense strength. They sense self-respect. They sense someone who understands their worth. And that energy is incredibly attractive to the soul. This message is for you. Because there was a time when your soulmate worried that pain would define this chapter. They worried that uncertainty would define this chapter. They worried that fear would define this chapter. But now they are beginning to realize that growth is defining this chapter. Healing is defining this chapter. Transformation is defining this chapter. And that realization fills them with optimism. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate found themselves reflecting on how much you've changed. Maybe they noticed it directly. Maybe they felt it energetically. Maybe the universe revealed it through signs. However it happened, they became aware of it. And the awareness brought tremendous relief. Because deep down, they always wanted the best for you. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most emotional realizations they've had is that your happiness matters to them. Your peace matters to them. Your growth matters to them. Seeing you move toward a healthier, stronger version of yourself brings them joy they struggle to describe. Because genuine connections celebrate growth rather than fear it. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has spent a lot of time reflecting lately. Reflecting on lessons. Reflecting on timing. Reflecting on everything this journey has taught both of you. And one lesson keeps standing out above all the others. The strongest connections often become stronger when both people focus on becoming their best selves. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a recent moment when your soulmate imagined what the future might look like. For the first time in a long time, the image felt bright. It felt hopeful. It felt filled with possibility. Why? Because they no longer see the old version of you. They see someone evolving. Someone growing. Someone becoming more aligned with their purpose. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The angel numbers continue appearing around them. Every time they think about how much has changed, another sign appears. Every time they wonder if they're imagining things, another confirmation arrives. The universe seems determined to remind them that growth is happening exactly as it should. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand that one of the greatest gifts you could have given this connection was your own healing. Your own growth. Your own commitment to becoming stronger. That decision created a ripple effect. A ripple effect they can feel every day. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights recently when your soulmate lay awake thinking about how different everything feels now. The tension is lighter. The energy is lighter. The future feels lighter. And every time they search for the reason, they arrive at the same answer. Something changed inside you. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. They are happier because they see you choosing yourself. They are happier because they see you trusting the journey. They are happier because they see you stepping into your power. They are happier because they know that real love begins with self-love. And whether you realize it or not, that is exactly what you've been learning. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is no longer focused on what is missing. They are focused on what is possible. They are no longer focused on delays. They are focused on growth. They are no longer focused on fear. They are focused on hope. And that shift has changed everything. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been working quietly behind the scenes. Every lesson. Every challenge. Every delay. Every emotional breakthrough has been guiding both of you toward a deeper understanding. And now your soulmate is starting to see the results. They are starting to see the person you've become. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The big news isn't simply that your soulmate is happier. The big news is why. They are happier because you finally did something incredibly important. You stopped abandoning yourself. You stopped defining your worth through uncertainty. You stopped waiting for outside validation. You started choosing your own growth. You started choosing your own peace. You started choosing your own future. This message is for you. Because as your soulmate watches this transformation unfold, they are beginning to realize something extraordinary. The person they've been hoping to see is finally emerging. The version of you that trusts themselves. The version of you that knows their value. The version of you that shines without needing permission. And the more they witness that transformation, the happier they become. Because deep down, they know this is only the beginning. And what they are about to realize next may completely transform the future of this connection in ways neither of you expected. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If you're still here, then this message was meant to find you. Because what your soulmate has been feeling lately goes much deeper than simple happiness. It is relief. It is hope. It is admiration. It is the kind of joy that comes when someone you care about finally begins seeing themselves the way you always wished they would. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has been watching a transformation take place, and whether they have spoken about it openly or not, it has changed the way they see this entire connection. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a time when your soulmate worried about you more than you realized. Not because they doubted your strength. Because they could sense the weight you were carrying. They could feel the pressure of unanswered questions. They could feel the exhaustion that comes from overthinking. They could feel the emotional burden of trying to understand things that were never meant to be rushed. Even when they said nothing, part of them hoped you would eventually find peace. This message is for you. Because recently, something shifted. Maybe it happened gradually. Maybe it happened through healing. Maybe it happened through lessons you never wanted to learn but desperately needed. However it happened, your soulmate noticed the difference. The energy that once felt heavy now feels lighter. The uncertainty that once seemed overwhelming now feels manageable. The fear that once seemed loud now feels quieter. And seeing that change has brought them more happiness than you know. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how differently you respond to challenges lately? Situations that once would have consumed your thoughts no longer have the same power. Questions that once created anxiety no longer control your mood. There is a calmness developing inside you. There is a confidence developing inside you. And that confidence is creating ripple effects throughout every part of your life. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate can feel those ripple effects too. Every time they think about you now, they sense growth. They sense maturity. They sense emotional strength. Instead of worrying about where you are in your journey, they find themselves feeling proud of how far you've come. That feeling has become one of the strongest emotions they carry. This message is for you. Because one of the things that makes your soulmate happiest is knowing that you are no longer waiting for someone else to complete you. You are beginning to complete yourself. You are beginning to trust yourself. You are beginning to build a life that feels meaningful regardless of what anyone else chooses. And that kind of growth is incredibly powerful. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate reflected on the version of you they first knew and compared it to the version of you they sense now. The difference is remarkable. Not because you became someone else. Because you became more of who you truly are. Layers of fear have started falling away. Layers of doubt have started falling away. What remains is authenticity. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been sending signs around this transformation. Angel numbers continue appearing. 111 for new beginnings. 222 for alignment. 333 for personal growth. 444 for reassurance. 555 for major life changes. Every sign seems connected to the same message. Growth is happening. Healing is happening. Trust the process. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has begun realizing something important. The happiest relationships are not built by two people desperately searching for validation. They are built by two people who have learned how to value themselves. Two people who bring wholeness instead of expectations. Two people who bring authenticity instead of fear. And lately, they see you moving toward that version of yourself. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights recently when your soulmate imagined what your future might look like. Not from a place of anxiety. From a place of excitement. They imagine you continuing to grow. Continuing to heal. Continuing to step into your power. Every time they imagine it, they feel hopeful. Every time they imagine it, they feel inspired. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest reasons they are happier than ever is because they no longer feel like they have to worry about whether you'll lose yourself. They can sense that you're finding yourself. They can sense that you're discovering strengths you didn't know you had. They can sense that you're becoming more connected to your purpose. And seeing that journey unfold fills them with admiration. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has learned an important lesson through watching your transformation. They learned that real growth cannot be forced. Real growth happens when someone chooses themselves. Real growth happens when someone stops chasing what is unavailable and starts nurturing what is already within them. That is exactly what you've been doing. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a recent moment when your soulmate thought about everything you've overcome. The disappointments. The uncertainties. The emotional challenges. The moments when giving up would have been easier. Looking back on all of it, they realized something powerful. You kept going. You kept growing. You kept becoming stronger. And that realization made them incredibly happy. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Every challenge you survived became part of your transformation. Every setback became part of your wisdom. Every lesson became part of your strength. The version of you emerging now is not defined by what happened to you. It is defined by how you responded to it. This message is for you. Because your soulmate can feel the difference in your energy. They can feel that you're no longer operating from fear. They can feel that you're no longer seeking constant reassurance. They can feel that you're learning how to trust yourself. And trust is one of the most attractive energies a soul can carry. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe often rewards people after periods of deep growth. Not always immediately. Not always in obvious ways. But growth creates alignment. Alignment creates opportunities. Opportunities create new chapters. Your soulmate senses that you are approaching one of those chapters now. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There are moments when your soulmate feels almost emotional thinking about how far you've come. They remember the struggles. They remember the uncertainty. They remember the version of you that questioned everything. And when they compare that version to who you are becoming now, they cannot help but smile. This message is for you. Because happiness is contagious at a soul level. When one person heals, it affects everyone connected to them. When one person grows, it creates new possibilities. When one person begins choosing themselves, it inspires others to do the same. Your soulmate is feeling those effects right now. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The reason your soulmate seems happier than ever isn't because circumstances suddenly became perfect. It isn't because every answer arrived overnight. It isn't because every obstacle disappeared. It's because they can finally see evidence of something they always hoped for. They can see you becoming stronger than your fears. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Every sign from the universe seems to reinforce that truth. Every angel number. Every synchronicity. Every meaningful coincidence. Together they form the same message. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep growing. The path you're on is leading somewhere important. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand that the greatest gift you could have given this connection was not constant attention, constant reassurance, or constant effort. The greatest gift was your growth, your healing, your willingness to become the best version of yourself. That transformation has inspired them more than you realize. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate is happier than ever because you finally did something they secretly hoped you would do all along. You stopped waiting for life to happen to you and started creating it. You stopped allowing fear to define your future and started trusting your own strength. You stopped searching for your worth in other people and started discovering it within yourself. And now, as they watch that transformation continue unfolding, they are beginning to realize something extraordinary. The person you are becoming may be opening doors, creating opportunities, and aligning futures in ways neither of you can fully see yet. And what they are about to understand next could change everything about the journey ahead. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If you've stayed with this message until now, then what you're about to hear may be the most important part of this entire journey. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand something they never fully understood before. The transformation they've been witnessing in you is not temporary. It is not a phase. It is not something that appeared overnight. It is the result of every lesson you survived, every challenge you overcame, every tear you cried, and every moment you chose to keep going when giving up would have been easier. And the more they realize that, the happier they become. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a time when your soulmate saw you struggling with questions that seemed impossible to answer. Questions about timing. Questions about purpose. Questions about love. Questions about the future. They watched as you searched for clarity. They watched as you carried emotional burdens that no one else could fully understand. And although they may not have known how to help, they hoped you would eventually discover the strength that was already inside you. This message is for you. Because lately, they can see that strength more clearly than ever. It appears in the way you carry yourself. It appears in the energy you project. It appears in the choices you're making. The version of you emerging now feels different. More grounded. More confident. More connected to your own value. And that shift is impossible for them to ignore. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how certain things no longer affect you the way they once did? Situations that used to create panic now create perspective. Delays that once felt unbearable now feel manageable. Uncertainty that once felt overwhelming now feels like part of the process. These changes may seem small from the inside, but from the outside they are extraordinary. Your soulmate sees them. They feel them. And they admire them. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the biggest reasons your soulmate feels happier than ever is because they no longer sense you living from a place of lack. They sense you living from a place of abundance. Not necessarily financial abundance. Emotional abundance. Spiritual abundance. The abundance that comes from knowing your worth. The abundance that comes from trusting yourself. The abundance that comes from realizing you are already enough. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has spent a lot of time reflecting on everything this connection has taught both of you. Looking back, they can see how every challenge served a purpose. Every delay served a purpose. Every emotional struggle served a purpose. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. It was all preparing both of you for growth. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been sending signs everywhere. Angel numbers continue appearing at meaningful moments. 111 for fresh beginnings. 222 for harmony and alignment. 333 for spiritual evolution. 444 for reassurance and support. 555 for transformation. Every sign feels like confirmation that major changes are taking place beneath the surface. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate thought about how differently they see you now compared to before. Not because you became someone new. Because you became more authentic. More honest with yourself. More willing to prioritize your own peace. More willing to choose growth over comfort. Those qualities have become impossible to overlook. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has begun realizing that true confidence is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not seek validation. True confidence is quiet. It is calm. It is steady. And lately, they sense that quiet confidence growing inside you. They sense someone who is becoming less dependent on external answers and more connected to internal wisdom. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most emotional realizations your soulmate has experienced is that your growth has inspired their own growth. Watching you become stronger has encouraged them to become stronger. Watching you heal has encouraged them to heal. Watching you trust yourself has encouraged them to trust themselves. This connection has become a mirror in ways neither of you expected. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The happiness they feel is not only about who you are becoming. It is about what your transformation represents. It represents possibility. It represents hope. It represents the idea that people can evolve, heal, and become more aligned with their true selves. That realization has changed the way they see the future. This message is for you. Because there have been nights recently when your soulmate imagined what life might look like if both of you continue growing in the direction you're heading now. The vision feels different than it once did. It feels healthier. It feels more balanced. It feels less driven by fear and more driven by authenticity. Every time they imagine it, they feel optimistic. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe often creates breakthroughs after long periods of preparation. For a while, it can feel as though nothing is happening. Then suddenly everything begins shifting at once. Your soulmate senses that you're entering one of those periods now. A period where the work you've been doing internally begins creating visible results externally. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There was a recent moment when your soulmate realized they no longer worry about whether you'll lose your way. They can feel your direction. They can feel your purpose. They can feel your resilience. And that realization brings them tremendous peace. This message is for you. Because every lesson you've learned has contributed to the person you are becoming. The disappointments taught wisdom. The setbacks taught patience. The uncertainty taught faith. The heartbreak taught self-respect. None of those lessons were easy. But together they created the strength your soulmate sees now. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The signs from the universe keep appearing because they carry a message. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep growing. The path you're walking may not always be easy, but it is leading somewhere meaningful. Your soulmate can feel that. The universe can feel that. And deep down, your soul can feel it too. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most beautiful things your soulmate has realized is that happiness becomes easier when people stop fighting themselves. For a long time, you may have questioned yourself, criticized yourself, doubted yourself. But now they see someone who is learning to work with themselves rather than against themselves. And that shift changes everything. This message is for you. Because your soulmate understands now that the reason they are happier than ever is not because circumstances became perfect. It is because they are witnessing the emergence of someone powerful. Someone authentic. Someone resilient. Someone who has survived enough challenges to understand their own value. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The transformation you've created is larger than you realize. It affects your energy. It affects your opportunities. It affects your relationships. It affects the way others see you. Most importantly, it affects the way you see yourself. And that internal change is creating momentum that continues growing stronger every day. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate is beginning to understand something extraordinary. The person you are becoming is opening new possibilities not only for yourself but for everyone connected to you. The growth you've achieved is creating alignment. The healing you've achieved is creating clarity. The confidence you've developed is creating opportunities. And as all of these changes continue unfolding, your soulmate feels more hopeful than ever before. This message is for you. Because the big news isn't simply that your soulmate is happier. The big news is that your growth is proving something important. It is proving that the universe was working even during the difficult moments. It is proving that every lesson had purpose. It is proving that every challenge contributed to your transformation. And as your soulmate continues watching that transformation unfold, they are beginning to realize that something even bigger may be approaching. Something neither of you could fully see before. A new chapter built on strength instead of fear, confidence instead of doubt, and authenticity instead of uncertainty. And what happens next may completely change the direction of this journey forever. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. If you've made it this far, then this may be the message the universe has been trying to place in front of you from the very beginning. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is finally seeing the full picture. Not just pieces of your journey. Not just moments of your growth. The full picture. And what they see fills them with more happiness, hope, and admiration than they ever expected. Because the person standing before them now is not the same person who started this journey. You have changed. You have evolved. You have grown. And that transformation is creating effects far beyond what you realize. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. For a long time, your soulmate believed happiness would come from external circumstances. They believed happiness would arrive when questions were answered. When timing aligned. When uncertainty disappeared. When life finally became easier. But watching your journey taught them something different. It taught them that true happiness begins inside. It begins when someone decides to stop fighting themselves and start trusting themselves. And lately, they can see that decision reflected in you. This message is for you. Because one of the most beautiful things your soulmate has noticed is that you no longer seem defined by what happened to you. You seem defined by what you learned from it. There is a huge difference. Anyone can carry pain. Anyone can carry disappointment. But transforming those experiences into wisdom requires strength. Transforming those experiences into growth requires courage. And that is exactly what you've been doing. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how much calmer your spirit feels lately? Maybe not every day. Maybe not every moment. But overall, there is a shift. There is a sense of stability developing inside you. A sense that you no longer need every answer immediately. A sense that you can trust the process even when you cannot see the outcome. That energy is powerful. And your soulmate feels it every time they think about you. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been sending signs throughout this entire journey. Angel numbers continue appearing. 111 for fresh starts. 222 for alignment. 333 for spiritual growth. 444 for reassurance. 555 for transformation. Every sign seems connected to the same message. Keep becoming who you are meant to be. Keep trusting your path. Keep moving forward. This message is for you. Because your soulmate has begun understanding that your growth did something unexpected. It gave them permission to grow too. Watching you choose healing inspired them to choose healing. Watching you choose peace inspired them to choose peace. Watching you stop living from fear inspired them to question their own fears. In ways neither of you fully understand, your transformation became contagious. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been moments recently when your soulmate found themselves smiling unexpectedly while thinking about you. Not because of a specific memory. Not because of a specific conversation. Because they can feel your energy changing. They can feel your confidence growing. They can feel your spirit becoming stronger. And that awareness fills them with genuine happiness. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the most important lessons your soulmate has learned is that love cannot thrive where self-worth is absent. Love cannot thrive where fear controls every decision. Love cannot thrive where people abandon themselves to gain approval from others. Real love requires authenticity. Real love requires growth. Real love requires two people willing to become their best selves. And that is exactly what they see happening now. This message is for you. Because there was a time when your soulmate worried that pain might define your future. They worried that disappointment might make you close your heart. They worried that uncertainty might convince you to stop believing in yourself. But instead of becoming smaller, you became stronger. Instead of becoming bitter, you became wiser. Instead of becoming hopeless, you became more resilient. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Every challenge you survived added another layer of strength. Every lesson added another layer of wisdom. Every setback added another layer of resilience. Looking at who you are today, your soulmate can see the evidence of every battle you fought and every lesson you learned. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There have been nights recently when your soulmate reflected on how much you've accomplished internally. Not accomplishments the world can measure. Internal accomplishments. Learning to trust yourself. Learning to value yourself. Learning to choose yourself. Learning to let go of what no longer serves you. Those victories may not always be visible, but they are incredibly significant. This message is for you. Because your soulmate understands now that your growth was never just about you. It was about creating alignment. It was about preparing for a future that requires a stronger version of yourself. It was about becoming the person capable of receiving everything you've been working toward. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The universe often works in ways people do not immediately understand. Sometimes it removes things. Sometimes it delays things. Sometimes it challenges people in ways that feel unfair. Yet later, when the lessons become clear, everything makes sense. Your soulmate is beginning to see that now. They are beginning to understand why your journey unfolded the way it did. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. One of the reasons they are happier than ever is because they can finally see how far you've come. They can finally see the results of all the healing. All the growth. All the self-discovery. And those results are beautiful. They reveal someone who is becoming increasingly aligned with their purpose and increasingly connected to their true self. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is no longer focused on old versions of the story. They are focused on what is happening now. They are focused on the strength you carry now. The wisdom you carry now. The confidence you carry now. And every time they focus on those things, their sense of hope grows stronger. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. There are moments now when your soulmate feels as though the universe is showing them glimpses of what is possible. Not guarantees. Possibilities. Possibilities built on growth. Possibilities built on authenticity. Possibilities built on two people becoming more aligned with who they truly are. Those possibilities excite them in ways they never expected. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The angel numbers continue appearing because the universe wants both of you to remember something important. Transformation is not an accident. Growth is not an accident. Alignment is not an accident. Every lesson you've experienced has been moving you towards something greater. This message is for you. Because your soulmate is finally understanding that the happiest chapter of this journey may not be behind you. It may be ahead of you. The struggles taught lessons. The delays taught patience. The uncertainty taught faith. But now a different chapter is beginning. A chapter where those lessons can finally be used. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. The reason your soulmate is happier than ever is simple. They can see you becoming the person you were always meant to be. They can see you stepping into your power. They can see you trusting yourself. They can see you creating a life rooted in self-worth rather than fear. And witnessing that transformation fills them with admiration. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate knows that challenges will still exist. Questions will still appear. Life will still bring lessons. But they also know something else. You are no longer the person who once doubted their ability to handle those challenges. You are stronger now. Wiser now. More resilient now. And that realization changes everything. This message is for you. Because the big news is bigger than happiness. The big news is that your growth has created momentum. Momentum that is opening new opportunities. Momentum that is creating new possibilities. Momentum that is aligning your future in ways you cannot fully see yet. And as your soulmate continues witnessing this transformation, they are beginning to realize something extraordinary. The very thing that makes them happiest is not what you achieved. It is who you became in the process. And that person is standing closer than ever to a future filled with possibility, purpose, and blessings that may completely transform the next chapter of this journey forever.